Drama in Casualty this evening. It really is hard to understand how that programme is still on TV. Hope you're all settled in and sitting comfortably tonight. Mrs. Brown's Boys coming up later on. But first, after the success of last week's show, the BSF production boys are back. So sit back, relax and play. It's time for the Mottram CC virtual quiz. It's live, it's virtual, and Stephen Fielding is still vivacious.
Good evening, all. Difficult to see that photograph. I've definitely packed it on a little since then, haven't I? I will be downloading the Couch to 5K app, having seen that photograph. Good evening, all. I hope this finds everybody well. Since we were last all together, the crisis at hand and the invisible threats within our midst, it appears to have got a little bit more serious, doesn't it? It appears to be a little bit closer to home. So tonight, even more so than last week, I really do hope this finds you and your loved ones well. Toast as we did last week. I assume that we've all got beverages. I'll be sampling the Uri Geller again tonight, reassuringly expensive. But a toast to the health of all your loved ones. So to health and happiness, folks. Lovely stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in and coming back. I know that I see that a couple of you, or a number of you, in fact, have come back having tuned in last week. Before we get cracking, I'm aware that we do have a number of new players. And seeing Richard Bainbridge's query upon query, I mean, I just don't know how difficult it is to just access the website. Just go on the website and it'll all be there, Richard. But given the fact that we do have individuals like Richard who can't follow some instruction, we will just go through it now with Stephen's help. So Stephen and Beachy are in the back end. They're in my back end. Keep it clean, folks. So essentially, folks, all you need to do is download, or you don't need to download anything. You need to search on Google for Mottram Cricket Club. That's right, Steve. We can, lovely. Access the webpage. What you'll need to do, folks, is you need to go on, and if you haven't already done so, just register your team name. That can be done reasonably quickly via this particular form. You can tell that we've got a real administrative pervert in terms of Michael Beach putting that together. And then in terms of how we go through the quiz, there are going to be 3 rounds tonight. We've got a picture round, we've got a general knowledge, and then we've got a selection of sort of pick and mix areas whereby there'll be some intensive testing on little areas of your wider knowledge. There is going to be a mini little sort of grand national whereby for the money tonight, folks, we're going to have, it's a £50 bar voucher. So 25 from the club, and El Capitano here has doubled that up. So it's £50 in MCC bar vouchers for the winner of our interval game, which will be a horse race that you'll be asked to bet on. You'll be asked the 4 selections, and the closest to the top 4 in that particular race will take the prize. But without further ado, I think we should probably get cracking. Let's get into it. First 2 rounds, pictures and general knowledge, and then we'll have a little break. We'll do the race, and then we'll finish with picking next. In the back end here, folks, how are we looking? Are we ready to rock and roll? Yeah. Okay, so everybody, if you go onto the website now, you'll see that round 1, the picture round, is now live. Now, in a change to how we did things last week, what you're going to see is the pictures come up 2 at a time on the screen. We've called it Noah's Picture Round. If coronavirus goes really bad, then we might have to actually put an arc together. So what I've done this week is this is essentially what I think we'd need if we were to load onto an ark and try and fight for survival. So the picture round, you will see the picture round, also all the pictures on your answer sheet. We'll go to 2 at a time on the screen. So without further ado, Stephen, do you want to get us cracking? So the first couple of people, we'll need a couple of leaders. So what I want the names of these 2 particular gentlemen. It's been a pretty tough week, I think it's fair to say, for gentleman number 1. What I took from the presser the other day was that he's purchased 17.5 million antibody kits that he doesn't know work. We don't do politics. Let's leave it there. I just hope to God Almighty that he kept the receipt. So we need the names of these 2 particular gentlemen to potentially lead us through to the new age. Okay. So we've got those 2. I'm just conscious that we will have to reproduce, and what we do want is we want some good-looking offspring. We certainly don't want anybody looking like Phil Shimmin or James Dadge in the new era. Sorry, chaps. So we've got a couple of glamorous individuals coming up next. 3 and 4, please, Stephen. So we need the name of these 2 stars. And that might be kind, I think. Okay. Relatively straightforward, those for those of a younger disposition. Okay, we don't just want glamour. We want a bit of brawn in there. We want somebody with a little bit of physique. So a couple of sporting icons here. Couple of sporting icons either side. I mean, whether the guy in number 6 actually plays a proper sport or not, I'll leave to the wider judgment of the audience at large. Okay, just to be clear, we will just run through these once more quite quickly at the end. So don't panic. Don't panic if we're moving quite quickly. Okay, a little bit of artistic flair. Next with these 2 individuals, possibly go into the very good looking category, but a bit of artistic flair from these 2 certainly takes me back to my childhood. A little bit of an anecdote, folks. I remember I think it was my mother's 40th birthday party. I think I remember singing number 7's hit single with my brother on the karaoke in the Railway Club. Lovely stuff. Shocker, absolute shocker. Okay, 7 and 8 there. So we've gone through something, but I mean, the politicians up front there leading. We need some intellect required. So 9 and 10, please, Stephen. Now, just a bit of disclosure, folks. I would need to access the Resurrection Stone from Harry Potter's Deathly Hallows for the gentleman number 10. Sadly, no longer with us, but an awesome intellect nonetheless. So 9 and 10 are the intellects to potentially see us into the new age. Bit of product placement. I'll get in touch with the guys over in Belgium, see what I can haggle out of them for free ahead of next week's slot. Okay. So they're the individuals. Now, again, we will just run through those very quickly at the back end. So if you need to have a look at those again, they are on your answer sheet, but we will just rattle through them again on screen. We need to know the destination. So the next 2 are outlines of countries. These are outlines of countries, and I need the country depicted via its outline. 11 and 12. Wouldn't, what's he, sorry? James Dadge has said that wasn't him being bold in the opening credits. I think it was James, just in case anybody did miss it. I think about halfway through, yours truly playing what can only be described as a textbook cover drive. Will pat myself on the back for that one. Very, very well captured that, Stephen, when you captured that. So 11 and 12, they're outlines of countries. It will probably be a long voyage wherever we're going. So next up are a couple of games to keep us occupied. I think we've got a few teams that might have a slight advantage here because I think this may well have appeared on a quiz they were doing. But that said, it's very difficult to avoid that in this day and age. I mean, we're all doing about 35 quizzes a week. So there is going to be an element of duplication as we work our way through this rather extended lockdown period. So a couple of games there. I want the name of the game. Yeah. Question from John Davis: have I got eyeliner on? No eyeliner, John. And I do apologise to Dan Martin, who did make a complaint last week about the glare from the light above me. There is nothing I can do about the fact that hereditary hair loss took place and took hold when I was about 18. So at the end of the day, the glare will remain, I'm afraid. It is really beaming off the head, and it is very warm in here. There is a team name in here, apparently, that the dazzle from Stefan's head is absolutely blinding. Very, very kind of you. Okay, we've played the games. We probably had a fight with the opponent in doing so. Something to calm us down. A little bit of music. A couple of instruments here. If we can identify the instrument in the picture, please. It's 15 and 16. 15 and 16. So 15 and 16 there. Yeah, certainly not my favourite instruments, that's for sure. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't have a favourite. I think they're reasonably straightforward, aren't they? I think I've been kinder this week with the pictures after what was a bit of a mauling in the picture round last week. Okay, obviously it'll be a high-tech arc, so we'll have the ability to watch some quality films. For the next are couple of stills from films. Now, folks, in respect of number 17, I am going to need the name under which it was released for feature film. I need the full name in terms of what it was released for feature film purposes. 18 is a real gimme. So they're stills from famous films that we potentially watch. And then 19 and 20, we need a bit of sustenance. And let's face it, the supermarkets are all out of pasta, rice, etc. So we're going to go with some nuts. Sorry, just getting carried away with myself. Steady. Can I have the name of these two different types of nuts? Can I have? Sorry, the name that just it's well, before the watershed. I'm getting told in my ear. Can we have the two different types of nuts? Yeah, it's really that straightforward. Oh, it's a damning indictment of my maturity. That's funny. Yes, Stephen, we are going to go back to the start. We are going to run through them. I know I've thrown you a bit of a curveball there, but sorry. Okay, so we'll do a little run through. We run through again, Stephen. Okay, so here we go. Politician of the week in number 1, and number 2, just a politician bloke. 3 and 4, I was a bit quick on the draw there, Stephen, if you do say so myself. 3 and 4, some stars, some glamorous stars to be identified. 5 and 6, please. Okay, bit of sporting brawn. Sport in 5. Horrendous game in 6. 7 and 8, please, Stephen. I almost gave 7 away. Steady on. Yeah, Alma Ale. Go on. No, 7 and 8 is fine. You're doing well, Stephen. So 7 and 8, we've got a couple of singers for us just to keep us entertained. Next slide, please, Stephen. 9 and 10, a couple of intellects. A couple of intellects there. 10, in actual fact, is a bit of a that's just me all over. Big fan of number 10. 11 and 12, please, Stephen. These are the countries, the destinations that might be going to their outlines. We can flick to the games, please, Stephen. 13 and 14. Now, I think I'm right in saying that I've had a fight with my brother playing both of those games. I think yes, I think that's right. Most probable, wasn't it? Next, please, Stephen. 15 and 16 musical instruments. 15 and 16 are the instruments. 17 and 18. These are the stills from feature films. Again, 17, I must insist that we get the name of the title as released in the feature film. And 19 and 20 are different types of nuts. Harry Moore has posed a question as to why there's 3 lots of nuts on the screen. Do you know what? I've no response. I've no response to that. That's an ace down the tee. That, Harry, very well done, sir. I can assure you that the moving nut is not being tested under this quiz. The moving nut's not being tested. Okay. So if we can go ahead and submit, then we're going to give you a couple of minutes just to tidy up your answer sheets, and then we'll move on. We'll move on to the general knowledge round. 20 questions in the general knowledge tonight, and potentially a little bit kinder again than last week. So last week was 15, wasn't it? So 20 this week. So you're saying that you can't submit with blank speech? Is that what I'm telling people? Okay, folks. So Beachy's irritating my back end and telling me that you cannot submit an answer sheet with any blanks at all. So to the extent that you didn't know some of those and just didn't want to guess, not sure why you do that, but if you didn't want to hazard a guess, just put a space in or something like that in the box. And go ahead and submit. So we're going to give a couple more minutes. Ayrton's confirmed that we did indeed scrap over the 2 board games depicted, and is trying to claim some sort of victory. Not having it whatsoever. Grandad always used to have to come around and bail him out. Matthew Nixon, question from Matthew Nixon. How have I managed to put my head on upside down? It is a wonder, isn't it? It really is a wonder. Lengthy surgery, Matthew, lengthy surgery. Although I do note that it looks as though I won't be the only person to have this type of look going forward, as the shaving of the head craze really has taken off. I think it really does potentially expose some of those people like Richard Bainbridge who really ought to shave his head under the circumstances, except that would give him an absolute swell head for everybody to see. Sorry, Richard. Yeah, guys. Just while we're finishing, if you do want to comment on the Facebook or YouTube feeds, do feel free to do so. I accept that most of it will be abuse thrown my way, but listen, you sit in the hot seat. If you don't like the heat, get out of the kitchen. Okay, last minute, and then we're going to move to general knowledge. I think I see the time as 19 minutes. I'm moving on at 20 past. How are we doing on? Oh, there it is, 20 past. How are we doing on submissions, Beachy? Okay, so because we've got over 50 teams playing, if we can have those 18 teams that are still straggling to submit in the next 30 seconds, we are definitely moving. Yeah, so Beach is essentially saying that if there's no submission in the next 30 seconds, then no points will be awarded by him. Now, that's a little bit harsh from my perspective, but he is a hard taskmaster. He is very, very anal about certain things. Question from James Dadge. Go on. Where I think that was where the dogs. Bella's just here. I will get her out to evidence the fact that I'm not. There's nothing wrong with them. They are alive. I do appreciate that I'm sort of sat here as if I'm in some sort of Venetian cafe with an original Raphael on the back. But yes, the dogs are absolutely fine. Everyone's fine. It's all above board. Don't worry, Dad. Right, okay, I'm moving on. General knowledge. Is everybody submitted, Beachy? Okay, well, moving on. Right, guys, onto the general knowledge. If you can download the general knowledge sheet, that is your answer sheet. And we're going for it. Question 1 in the general knowledge round. So what is the official currency of Argentina? So that's the first question proper of tonight's quiz. What is the official currency of Argentina? What's going on here? What's going on in the back? I'm being told that the sheet isn't live. Is the sheet live now? Okay, guys, the sheet's live. I apologise profusely for what is an absolute horror show in the back end there. I mean, Beachy, come on. Okay, so if you're refreshed, you'll be able to find the answer sheet live. So once you've accessed that answer sheet, the first question of the general knowledge round is, what is the official currency of Argentina? Best thing to come out of Argentina was the Argentine Tango by Debbie McGee on Strip Come Dancing. That is for sure. That was superb. I'm hearing a couple of things around sheets, but I assume that everybody else is okay. So we'll plow on. If you've not access to keep going. Second question on general knowledge round. Let's keep this moving. Which of the following names does not feature in Lou Bega's Mambo No. 5? Veronica, Sandra, Pamela, or Jessica? Great track. Absolutely phenomenal track. And actually a bit of a cricket classic. So that's question number 2. Which of the following names does not feature in Lou Bega's Mambo No. 5? Veronica, Sandra, Pamela, or Jessica? I assume we've had no more issues with the sheets online. Just John Davis struggling. Says it all for me. Okay, question number 3. According to Greek mythology, who killed Achilles? According to Greek mythology, who killed Achilles? Now, I note that it's not. I don't think it actually features in the Iliad, but it is reasonable legend, and as depicted in the Hollywood blockbuster, where I believe Brad Pitt played Achilles. So, according to Greek mythology and the Hollywood blockbuster, who killed Achilles? Okay. Question number 4. In a traditional game of American 9-ball pool, what colour is the number 3 ball? So that's question number 4. In a traditional game of American 9-ball pool, what colour is the number 3 ball? Not proper pool, really, but alas. Okay. Question 5. Featured in a Top Gear special, the Okavango Delta can be found in which country? That's question number 5. As featured in a Top Gear special, the Okavango Delta can be found in which country? So I think I've been reasonably kind there with the Top Gear special, so you can sort of narrow it down to where Mr. Clarkson and co. have ventured. Of course, Paddy McGuinness and Freddie Flintoff now were rather excruciating to watch. I'm sure you'll agree. You like it, do you? You like the two? Yeah, they're just not Clarkson. It's not Clarkson, is it? Okay, question number 6. Another sport question, but it's not flooded with sport tonight. Which iconic fast bowler was nicknamed Whispering Death? A freebie for all the cricket folks out there, but a little tricky, perhaps, for those not so affiliated with the great game. So that's question number 6. Which iconic fast bowler was nicknamed Whispering Death? Okay. Question number 7 is what is the hardest tissue in a mammal's body? That's question number 7. What is the hardest tissue in a mammal's body? If we can keep it clean in the back end, folks. If we can keep it clean in the back end, that would be much appreciated. Still. Okay, so that was 7. What is the hardest tissue in a mammal's body? Question 8. I feel a bit guilty about this because I don't really consider this to be general knowledge, but question number 8. Which celebrity named her daughter True upon giving birth in 2018? Difficult not to vomit reading that question out, to be quite honest. But question number 8. Which celebrity named her daughter True upon giving birth in 2018? Deary me, deary. I thought Stefan was bad. Oh, God. Okay. So we're making reasonable progress here. We're on to number 9. So from which part of the United Kingdom would I herald if I was referred to as a Mackem? So that's question number 9. And I am going to be really insistent that we get, this is awkward, but I don't know whether it's a city or a town. I want the city or the town, not the region. So that's question number 9. From which part of the United Kingdom would I herald if I was a Mackem? I'm hearing from the back end that it's a city. I should know that, really. Oh, there you go. No. Okay. Question 10. What is the connection between Andrew Beckett, Paul Edgecombe, and Captain Miller? That's question number 10. That's Captain John Miller. Question number 10. What is the connection between Andrew Beckett, Paul Edgecombe, and Captain John Miller? I think Beach is going collecting his takeaway. Beach can be a bit more professional than that. That'd be great. Yeah. I hope they left it on the doorstep before he even moved to a safe distance. Okay, question 11. The Stinger and Sorrento are models by which car manufacturer? So that's question 11. The Stinger and Sorrento are models by which car manufacturer? Just so we know, just so you know, guys, once we get through this second, once everybody submitted the answers to round 2, we will just run through the answers so that you're sort of put out your misery, so to speak. And then, of course, we'll do the marking in the back end and release the results in due course. But we will run through the answers for rounds 1 and 2 before the break. So question number 12 is Alfred Molina played Dr. Otto Octavius in which superhero film? I am going to insist that the title is fully correct here, insofar as if it's been in a sequence of movies, let's face it, it has, that's why I'm giving this clarification, then I need the exact title of the film. I don't just need the superhero. So that's question number 12. Alfred Molina played Dr. Otto Octavius in which superhero film? Question from James Dadge, is Beachy picking up a vegetarian takeaway? The answer, Dadge, is yes. Yes, he is. Rachel's thumbprint remains violently imprinted upon that poor. Hi, Rachel, if you're watching. Okay, question 13. Cookery, one for El Flanagan. What is the term for cutting vegetables into long matchstick-like shapes? I'm just not sure why anybody would do it. Why would you do that? So what is the term for cutting vegetables? This is number 13. What is the term for cutting vegetables into long matchstick-like shapes? Just to be clear, I'm not judging anybody who does do this. It's just that I'm probably too lazy to do it myself. So you know, for dipping into hummus, I'm told. Okay, 14. In which American city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? Yeah, that did bring the tune down slightly, didn't it? Sorry, folks. So question 14. If Stephen, if you can pull your finger out. Oh wow! Oh wow! I'm hearing that the back end hasn't done its job, and that we've no graphic for question 14. Pay will be docked. So question 14. Question 14 is, in which American city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? Purportedly between Al Capone and, is it Bugs something? I don't know. I've clearly not taken it in when I read it. Okay, we'll iron over that particular wrinkle, and we'll move swiftly to 15. I hope it's 15 next, Stephen. Yes, it is British artist. Yes, it is. Lovely. Okay, 15. Which British artist had a 2015 hit with "Hold Back the River"? Terrible song. I can hear a portioning of blame in the background here. Buses and individuals being thrown clean under. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Okay. So that was 15. Which British artist had a 2015 hit with "Hold Back the River"? Number 16. Roman numeral time. MMD is Roman numerals for what number? So it's question 16. MMD is Roman numerals for what number? One for all those tattoo connoisseurs out there, from when this was quirky and niche. Okay, so that's question 16. MMD is Roman numerals for what number? Okay, question 17. A cow's stomach is divided into how many compartments? Classic quiz question. I reckon during the lockdown, people have already seen that question 3 times. There's that much quizzing going on. 17. A cow's stomach is divided into how many compartments? 18. This is one for you, Dadge. Southern Jesse. Dicky Bird is Cockney rhyming slang for what? So that's 18. Is Dicky Bird is Cockney rhyming slang for what? 19. We'll rattle off these last two quite quickly. 19 is in terms of a board game. So in the board game Risk, how many men would a player be awarded for holding all the Asian territories? And just to be clear, because I don't want any sort of ambiguity here, what I'm looking for is how many a player would be awarded at the start of their next turn, if at the start of their next turn they held all of the Asian territories. That's question 19. In the board game Risk, how many men would a player be awarded for holding all of the Asian territories? Okay, and question 20, last question in the general knowledge round. Wimbledon was postponed, sadly, this week. Another victim of the COVID-19 outbreak. Which 20 is which of the following players has the most men's single titles at Wimbledon? Is it Rafael Nadal, John McEnroe, Rocket Rod Laver, or Novak Djokovic? So that's question 20. Which of the following players has the most men's single titles at Wimbledon? Is it Rafael Nadal, John McEnroe, Rod Laver, or Novak Djokovic? So there are your 20 questions, folks. I don't propose to read through them all again, but to the extent that anybody does want anything repeating, please just go through. I think we want 14 again. Is that what I'm hearing? 14? Didn't have the graphics, so we're doing that again. So 14 was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We wanted which American city did the St. Valentine's Day Massacre take place? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what, folks, rather than wait for everybody just to submit here, what I propose we do is we'll quickly run through what you need to do in terms of the horse racing game. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll run through the answers just on return of the break after the horse race. So we'll just postpone that. Is that okay with you folks in the back end? Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Okay, so there are your general knowledge questions, folks. I hope that was pretty clear. If you can just remember to submit those, please. If you can get those submitted now or in the next minute or so, I would really appreciate it. Let's just quickly move to the horse racing slide before we go to a quick break. Get me back. There we go. There we go. Okay, so what we're doing tonight, folks, essentially last week we did a quiz, and I think a couple of teams got 50 out of 50. What? So I thought, listen, in terms of prizes, let's have a bit of a laugh. Let's make it really random, but also let's give you guys at home perhaps an opportunity to have a little side bet with each other. It might be that some chores need doing. It might be that you feel shivering and you've got loads of cash to throw about and you want to have a big bet of about £100 on this. Whatever it is, feel free to do so. But we've got a little horse race coming after. You've got 8 horses there. What I need you to do to enter, and you can enter individually. I need you to go on the website. I need you to you can download the little Google answer sheet. I need you to tell me what the top 4 horses in this race are going to be. 10 points will be awarded if you get the first place horse right, 5 if you get the second placed horse right, 3 for third, and 1 for fourth. And the individual with the most points at the end will take the £50 in MCC bar vouchers, 25 from the club, 25 from the very generous and very handsome captain. And I think that's reasonably straightforward. In the event of a tie, I'll panic, sweat, and come up with something on a whim. Probably start tearing off pieces of paper and do a paper draw out of the hand. But that's that. Okay, before we go to the break, we'll have a 10-minute break so everybody can recharge the glasses. But question 18 was, Dicky Bird is Cockney rhyming slang for what? So that was question 18. Dicky Bird is Cockney rhyming slang for what? Okay, I think we're nearly there. We need 10 more answer sheets in. I think we've probably had a few drop-offs, haven't we? So we're probably waiting on around 4 or 5 stragglers. But with that said, what are we on? We're on 8:40. Let's come back at 8:50 and we'll run the race. Remember, folks, in the break, if you can submit your selections. Yes, we are doing the answer, Stephen, in the back end, but just give me a moment. Thank you. If you can just remember in the break to fill out your horse selections and get those submitted, and then you're submitted and you're in with a chance. £50 vouchers, and then we'll do the answers, and then we'll carry on with round 3, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, thanks, folks. See you in 10. All right, folks. I did say 50. Appreciate it's 49. Don't shoot me. But I thought I'd come back on. We're about to get rocking with the horse race, our mini sort of Mottram National. There are 3 submissions we're missing, but alas, 2 more. Okay, they're coming in late. Well, before we just run the race, I just want to sort of just make a couple of comments. You'll note that some of the namings here towards the bottom are some of our more cherished, the walking argument, some of our more cherished members. Towards the top, we've dedicated a few names to some of last week's donors. At the end of last week, I sort of made I suppose, a bit of a plea really for help and assistance through this difficult time. And I'll be honest, folks, that the response was simply humble. It was quite humbling. You know, the way that people sort of dug deep, and you know, when things aren't great, the people anyway was way beyond anything that I expected. So I think from the bottom of my heart, and you know, on behalf of the cricket club at large, I really do want to thank everybody who contributed last week. By playing, the fact that you're here is enough. And we're certainly not doing it to raise money per se, but for those people who've dug into the wallet or purse, as the case may be, and contributed, it really does mean the world to our people. So I really do thank you. I do note just one note on the actual name. The first name, Mr. Nigel Bates. Hello, Nigel. Very, very tempted to perhaps use a name that you may have gone as a youngster. A prefix to Bate, but it is before the watershed and it is a family club. So I decided to go with bated breath. I hope that's okay. I'm sure you probably had enough of that as a youngster, as I did. Things like Stephanie, and it's not fun. So, okay. Son of Man, Mr. Hanson. Mr. Manson. The Old Signet, Swan, and Miracle in Medina. I think it's actually Miracle of Medina in the running order. Was Mr. Poulter. So thank you all again for your very generous donation. So without further ado, I think selections are in. I assume bets are placed at home. Commentator this evening is Mike Scott. Thanks, Mike, for doing this. Without further ado, I'll hand over to. Oh, and before we do it, this has been sanctioned by our friends at Race Night Services Limited. Derek very kindly waived any sort of copyright issues. So thank you to Derek for his support for that. Over to you, Mike. Love this music. Love this music. I'm talking.
Welcome to the Sir Lord McDadge Estates Novelty Novice No Hurdle Chase. And let's meet the horses. In 1, Bated Breath, a delightful rugby league style red chevron, but will he leave us with bated breath? Son of Man in 2, he really is a star, specifically 6 of them on his chest. He should sparkle in these conditions. In 3, the Old Signet. Watch out for this one. He might be old, but he comes with bags of experience and a Tesco delivery van. In 4, Miracle of Medina, and you'll need a miracle here. Don't waste your time. In at 5, Paddy's Dad. Someone call the inspirational outfit team. They needed to spruce this one up. In 6, Yoda Grunt. The force is strong with this one. Watch out for his wife, Carol. In 7, Legside Wides. If they can keep it on the right track, that'll be useful. And finally, in 8, The Walking Argument. A fiery and moody horse, just like his namesake. They're in the stalls. It's 7 furlongs, whatever that means. And they're off. Miracle of Medina gets off to a flyer, along with Paddy's Dad, who moves into the lead in those awful, awful silks. They're jostling for position here in the opening stages of the race. It's Paddy's Dad, Miracle of Medina, the Old Signet, and Bated Breath ready to make a move. All pretty tight as they start to stretch their legs. I'll tell you what, aren't horses really, really quick? All but one, Yoda Grunt, who brings up the rear, so to speak. Walking Argument seems to be struggling with that massive head, and Legside Wides keeping it tighter than usual, especially over recent years. The keen-eyed fashion connoisseurs will spot Son of Man with a classic noseband completing their outfit today. And as we reach the halfway point, I wonder, is a furlong different to a furlough? Maybe our Prime Minister Boris Johnson can answer that one for us if you're watching Bojo. And the field starts to spread as Legside Wides takes the lead by a neck over Yoda Grunt from Frankly Nowhere, followed by the Walking Argument and Son of Man in that lovely, lovely nose piece. The Old Signet and Paddy's Dad looks to have two hopes, Bob and No. There's a furlong to go and I still don't know how far that is. Miracle Medina losing ground. Yoda Grunt on the inside. Son of Man, Legside Wides, Yoda Grunt, Walking Argument, Yoda Grunt, and Bated Breath is nowhere to be seen. It's too close to call. We're going to need DRS for this one. Aleem, can you please go upstairs? Let's see the replay, please, Aleem. Let's rock and roll that. There's a clear gap between the noseband, and Son of Man takes it. If we stay there, we can now stay with our on-field decision. It finishes first place, number 2, Son of Man. Second place, number 6, Yoda Grunt. In third place, Legside Wides. In fourth place, Walking Argument. A fabulous race. Can someone please check on the Old Signet? He is, of course, a key worker.
Right, there we go. Very interesting, very interesting. Beachy, I'll leave you to tot up the scores in the background, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the programme. What am I talking about? Okay, shall we run through the answers, round 1 and 2, very quickly? Have you got it, Steve? You ready? Before we move to round 3, we'll quickly run through these answers. Hold on. Okay, 1 was, of course, Matt Hancock. 2 was John Ashworth. 3, Ollie Locke. 4, Lucy Mecklenburg, 2 wonderful stars. 5, Steph Houghton. 6 was Johnny May. 7, we were Living La Vida Loca with Ricky Martin. 8 was Nicole Appleton. 9 would have been Richard Dawkins. 10 would have been Christopher Hitchens. The countries: 11 would have been Portugal. 12, New Zealand. The games: 13, Mastermind. 14, Frustration. The musical instruments: 15, the oboe. 16, the trombone. The films: 17, Kestrel for a Knave. I will just check that's right. Cares, Kestrel for a Knave. I'll check which one it is. I've got both here. 18, Pulp Fiction. And 19, in terms of the knots, we had Almond, and 20 was Pine. There we pictures. Your general knowledge round. Your first question: what is the official currency of Argentina? It's the Argentinian peso. Peso is fine. 2, which the following names does not feature in Lou Baines Mamma number 5. It's Veronica. There's a Monica. I think there's an Erica, but not a Veronica. According to Greek mythology, Paris killed Achilles. A traditional game of 9-ball pool, and the number 3 is red. There you go. Keep up, please, Stephen. Keep up. The Okavango Delta is in Botswana. The iconic fast bowler named Whispering Death was Michael Holding. 7 was a mammal's body. The hardest tissue in a mammal's body is enamel. Which celebrity called the daughter True? Khloe Kardashian. Would you expect anything less? Mackems, number 9. Mackems are from Sunderland. They Mackem. 10, the connection between Andrew Beckett, Paul Edgecombe, and John Miller is Tom Hanks. So they're all characters played by Tom Hanks. Andrew Beckett in Philadelphia, Paul Edgecombe in The Green Mile, and John Miller, or Captain Miller, in Saving Private Ryan. 11, Stingers and Sorrentos are Kias. Alfred Molina, number 12, played Otto Octavius in Spider-Man 2. Needs to be 2. Cutting vegetables into long matchstick-like shapes is a julienne. St. Valentine's Day Massacre took place in Chicago. The British artist with the hit Hull back the river is James Bay. And 16, MMD is 2,500. MMD 2,500. A cow's stomach has 4 compartments. 4 compartments in a cow's stomach. Dicky bird is rhyming slang for word. The board game Risk, you get 7 men for holding all of the Asian countries. And out of the following players, Rafael Nadal has 2 Wimbledon titles, McEnroe 3, Laver 4, and Djokovic 5. So Novak Djokovic, the correct answer there. Okay. Yeah, we want the winner. We want the winner for the horse race. The winner is Beachy, please. Okay, so Katie Hall is the winner of the horse race, asking what, and I think the team name is Why Does the Quizmaster Look Like Mike Scott? Katie Hall wins the £50 in bar vouchers, placing 1st, 2nd, and 4th correctly. Well done, Katie. Superb. Okay, let's crack on. Let's crack on, otherwise we'll be here all night. Round 3, please, Stephen, if you're ready. As everybody can go on, select round 3, get your round 3 quiz sheet. Assume everybody's ready. Not live yet, apparently. Again, the back end letting me down. Well, not really the back end. That's unfair. Just Beachy very slow on the uptake with the live sheets. Is it live yet, Beachy? Oh, it's live. It's live. The answer sheet is live. Please go ahead, get on there, download the sheet, and we'll crack on with round 3. So just before we start, this is pick and mix. There's 30 questions, 30 answers, obviously. They're in segments of 5. So you'll see as we go along, but broadly, the categories tonight, folks: Cluedo, elements of the periodic table. We have a sequences round. We've got a which came first round. We've got world records in Olympic events, and we have a connections round to finish. So I hope everybody's got the sheet downloaded by now. So the first section of 5 is a list. So answers 1 to 5 on your answer sheet can be inputted in any order that you like. And the question is this: that in the classic game of Cluedo, there are 6 murder weapons. 1 is the revolver. What are the other 5? So that's questions, I suppose, answers 1 to 5 on your answer sheet. In the classic game of Cluedo, there are 6 murder weapons. 1 is the revolver, and what are the other 5? Could have done the characters. Is it white, scarlet, mustard, peacock? Peacock 1? Yeah. Is it? Who's the green one? Is that Professor Green? Is that? Oh no, that's the rapper. Surely, that's a rap artist, not a Cluedo character. Who's the green one? There's a green character in Cluedo. Who's the green one? Reverend Green. Reverend Green. There we go. Reverend Green with the in the billiard room. Lovely, lovely stuff. So we'll just give you a couple of minutes, and then we will track through. Let's get through round 3. It was 10 o'clock when we finished last week. 10 o'clock. Jeez. Oof. We have got the offer to tray. You're right, Michael. Okay, so just for a last time, because that'll be one to think of as we work through the rest of the pick and mix rounds. So one last time, classic board game Cluedo. We're looking for the 5 murder weapons, or the 6 murder weapons. We're looking for the other 5 other than the revolver. Okay, next up, last week we had Shakespeare in this particular round, but it's the alternate letter round. So as seen and as shamelessly plagiarised from the game show Pointless. If we can move on to 6 to 10, please, Stephen. So these are elements on the periodic table. Now, I think I've been quite kind here. This could have got like a bloodbath. But number 6 is L blank T blank I blank M. 7 is B blank R blank L blank I blank M. 8 is T blank N blank U blank. 9 is A blank T blank N blank U blank. And 10 is H blank L blank U blank. So I'll just read through those one more time. 6 is L blank T blank I blank M. 7 is B blank R blank L blank I blank M. 8 is T blank N blank U blank. 9 is A blank T blank N blank U blank. And 10 is H blank L blank U blank. Just whilst you are completing those, just want to say a quick note. This has an international reach, this quiz. Last week we were in Australia. This week we are in San Francisco. Hello to James Burns, first-time player from across the pond there in San Francisco. Hello, James. Hope this finds you well. And also to Pete and Caitlin, who come a little closer to home in Urmston. In Urmston, I think that's how they pronunciate it. I think that's how they pronounce it. Pronunciate it. Jeez. How many stars are there? Okay, so they are the alternate letters missing. Just give a little bit of time, and then I think everything else is pretty much question after question, so reasonably straightforward to the end. That is bottle number, I think well, they are only small bottles, 284 ml. Got absolutely done at the till in Morrison's before. I panicked, if I'm honest. I panicked. Yeah, other supermarkets are available, of course. But I thought I had 23, 30 mils for 11 quid. So you can only imagine my despair when I got charged 14.50 and waddled out and realised they were 32.84 mils. Real body blow, real body. Anyway, right. I think that's enough time on those. I think people can sort of dip in and out of those as we go through the remainder of the quiz. So question 11. So next category is on world records. These are world records in Olympic events. So we'll start off nice and gently with the blue ribboned event. So the 100-meter world record is currently 9.53 seconds, 9.58 seconds, 9.63 seconds, or 9.68 seconds. So that's question 11 on tonight's quiz. The 100-meter world record is currently 9.53 seconds, 9.58 seconds, 9.63 seconds, or 9.68 seconds. All slower than me. All slower than me, that's for sure. They're official world records, not how fast I am between 22 yards. So that's 11. Number 12, onto the distance throwing events. So 98.48 meters is the world record. It was set in 1996 and has stood since then. And it's in which event? Is it in the javelin, the hammer, or the discus? So that's question number 12. 98.48 meters is the world record in which distance throwing event? Is it the javelin, the hammer, or the discus? A little bit of discussion around that one, I think. Anything in the back end, folks? Anything we need to be aware of? The vegetarian curry has arrived. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get what that comment means, so we'll move on. Question 13. The pole vault world record is 4.18 meters, 6.18 meters, 8.18 meters, or 10.18 meters. That's the pole vault world record, outdoor, I'm hastened to add, outdoor world record. It's 4.18 meters, 6.18 meters, 8.18 meters, or 10.18 meters. Yeah, I love it. So Matt Nixon just asked, what's my favourite massacre? His was the 2019 T20 final. I think you might be right, Matthew. It was one hell of a day there, was it? Down at Broadbottom Road, down at our near neighbours. Very, very nice to get them stuff in the final. Hello to anybody from Broadbottom, by the way. Okay, 14. Let's move on. 43.03 seconds is the world record in which running event? The 4x100 metre relay, the 400 metre hurdles, or the 400 metres? That's question 14. 43.03 seconds is the world record in which running event? The 4x100 metre relay, 400 metre hurdles, or the 400 metres. I would love to give a bit of commentary there, but I fear that I give away the answer, so I shall continue to say nothing. Yeah. Okay. So for one final time, that's 43.03 seconds is the world record in which running events, 4x100 metre relay, 400 metre hurdles, and the 400 metre. I should just be clear, folks, perhaps a little bit unambiguous. When I say world record, these are the men's world records, of course. But just to be clear, I suppose that's an overall world record in many respects. Okay, 15. Final question on world records in Olympic events. 3 minutes and 44 seconds is the world record in the cycling team pursuit. How many riders make up a team in the cycling team pursuit? And I'm looking. Go on, sorry, Stephen. Yeah, we're here. I mean, John Davis, we're expecting a full house from you here, given your athletic background and coaching skills. Just to be clear, there are a number of cycling team pursuits, and I'm looking for the one where the world record is 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Some critical thinking required. Still on screen, I know. Yeah. Okay. Sequences. They're the world records. We're on to sequences. So this is pretty straightforward, and I think that these are some of the kind of sequences we've done. But broadly, if anybody's seen Only Connect, it's a bit like that. So you're going to see a sequence appear, and what we need is the next in the sequence. So question 16 is the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge, Prince George of Cambridge, Princess Charlotte of Cambridge. What's next in the sequence? Reasonably straightforward there, I think. Very controversial year for that particular family, I note. Probably the less said about it, the better. Okay, so that's 16, the sequence. The Prince of Wales, Duke of Cambridge, Prince George of Cambridge, Princess Charlotte of Cambridge. What's next in the sequence? Okay, on to 17. One for all us literary fans, and for those essentially engrossed in the series, we have a Game of Thrones, a Clash of Kings, a Storm of Swords, a Feast for Crows. What's next in that particular sequence? That's 17, a Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings, a Storm of Swords, and a Feast of Crows. Or sorry, a Feast for Crows. 17. Wonderful, wonderful television series. Just a dreadful end. Just awful, wasn't it? Just not quite sure why the dragon had to do that at the end. It was all building up to who's going to sit on the throne, and it just melted it. It was just rubbish, wasn't it? Just crap all round. Bit of a spoiler there. Bit of a spoiler. But don't waste your time. The last season is that bad. Okay, 18. The sequence is red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, grey. Oh, sorry, I think I misread. So we should have red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, not grey. Peach, sorry, excuse me. So 18 is red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach. Question 18. What's next in that particular sequence? You can definitely tell that I've had a few of the Stellars now, Stephen, because I think I almost gave away the answer there. But I can say for those of you that are thinking that it might be grey, it's not grey. So for the last time, 18, red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach. What's next? Okay, on to 19. We have New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria. What's next? That was for some of our Australian friends who were going to get up at 5 in the morning to tune in. But they've basically sort of said it wasn't good enough last week. I think that's what they're saying, so they've not tuned. So 19, the sequence, New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, and Victoria. What is next in that sequence? Okay. Nearly end of the sequences. Just about got that out, didn't I, in plain English? Just about got that out. Okay. And your final sequence, 20, is, and just ignore the 20, that's not in the sequence. The sequence is 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 45. What's next? So that's question 20. The sequence is 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 45, and then what's next? So there's 7 60s there, and then a 45. There'll be a few people that know that absolutely straight away, but just take a bit of care. Take a bit of care there, folks. Okay. So they're the sequences, and we'll move on to which came first. So what we're looking for, you're going to get 2 options. I mean, 50% chance all the way through this round, but we're looking for which came first. So 21 is which of the following songs was the first to become a UK #1 hit single? Is it Bohemian Rhapsody? Was it Night Fever? That's question 21. Which of the following songs was the first to become a UK #1 hit single? Was it Bohemian Rhapsody or Night Fever? Both absolutely belting tracks. In fact, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's got to be up there, hasn't it? Greatest track probably ever recorded. Absolutely love it. Okay, so that's 21. On to 22. So which of the following 2 actors was the first to receive an Academy Award, better known as Oscars? Is it Morgan Freeman or Russell Crowe? So which of the following 2 actors was the first to win an Academy Award Oscar? Morgan Freeman or Russell Crowe? Morgan Freeman has to have one of the most soothing voices in the world, does he not? He really does. I've been asked to do an impression. No, I can't. Oh God, I just really can't do it at all. Not Stephen's telling me he's not putting the next question up unless I do it. I didn't think much of Andy Dufresne the first time I laid eyes. I don't know. That's all you get, and it's rubbish. It's rubbish. Okay, next question, please, Stephen. 23 is which was launched first, Facebook or Twitter? That's 23. Which was launched first, Facebook or Twitter? Neither were launched by Andy Dufresne, to be clear. Contention again from James Dadge, who's great for the content, saying that Pete Troy has the most soothing voice. He has the most Mancunian voice I've ever heard in my life, that is for sure. I don't know if it's soothing or not. 24, which started first, the Crimean War or the Boer War? So just getting the old no wine this week, folks. Just simply the reassuringly expensive stuff. Vincent. So that's 24, which started first, the Crimean War or the Boer War. And 25, if flying directly to Turkey from the UK, which country would you fly over first? Serbia or Bulgaria? One for geographers amongst us. So that's 25. If flying directly to Turkey from the UK, which country would you fly over first? Serbia or Bulgaria? Nearly there, folks. Nearly there. Stay with me. Stay with me. We're nearly there. Okay. We'll move on. Last 5 questions in tonight's quiz. There's connections round. Question 26. I nearly said question 1 there. I nearly did, yes. So question 26 is what type of animal was the toy called Wheezy in the film Toy Story 2? So what type of animal was the toy called Wheezy in Toy Story 2? Reason. Can we have an impression of Wheezy? I don't really know what I do, to be honest. What do you what is there to do? What is there to do? Hi, Steph. Do you want to run an online quiz and make an absolute arse of yourself? Yeah, go. Okay, 27. Let's get through this. Which book is Douglas Adams most famous for? 27. Some correspondence from Richard Bainbridge, the big potato head that I referred to earlier, who said that there's a lot of grey in this beard now, and that's very worrying. Richard, you're right. There is a lot of grey, but I can just cement the grey out. I can just cement the grey out. I don't believe there's a medical procedure to take the swelling out of that head just yet. So yeah, thanks for going into it, Jake. Appreciate it. A little bit nasty that, wasn't it? A little bit nasty, a little bit catty. Okay, 28. Let's move on. Which famous annual sporting event was first held in 1981 when it was won by Dick Beardsley? Talking of beards. Which famous annual sporting event was first held in 1981 when it was first won by Dick Beardsley? Good event. Good event. Again, can't say much, gives it away. We'll race through to 29. For which historical event is Captain William Bligh best known? So that's 29. For which historical event is Captain William Bligh best known? And 30 is what is the connection between the last 4 answers? So, of course, you'll have got all 4, and this will be dead easy. But what is the connection between the answers to questions 26 to 29? That's that for tonight's quiz in terms of content and questions. Anybody got any questions that they need repeating? You just saying I'll do that. If you can submit your papers as quickly as we'll run through the answers. The results will follow once Beaches had a chance to digest and mark them. But we can run through the answers before we depart. Okay, Jill Andrews telling me that Bargain Booze Hyde have a bit of a run on Stella Artois. I'll definitely get in there because let me tell you, yeah, other off licenses are available, of course. I came out of Morrison's, other supermarkets are available. Feeling quite violated, let's be honest, absolutely violated. Hi, Jill, by the way, nice to see you tuning in. Dad wants question 18 again, which was a sequence, and the sequence was red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach. Question 18, red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach. Let's get those submitted, and then we can get on and get through the rest of this creative Stella Artois. How many have we submitted, Mike? 7 submitted so far. I think a bit of thinking going on. 25 again is if flying directly to Turkey from the UK, which would you fly over first? Is it Serbia or Bulgaria? So that's 25. If flying directly to Turkey from the UK, which country would you fly over first? Serbia or Bulgaria? 27 again. 27 again. Which book is Douglas Adams best known for? That's 27. Which book is Douglas Adams best known for? Rick Bamish wants 27, 28, and 29. Not listening, Richard, not listening. Terrible. So you got 27, 28. So that was 27, Rick. 28, you'll find, is which famous annual sporting event was first held in 1981 when it was won by Dick Beardsley? It's 1981 when it was won by Dick Beardsley. And 29, from which historical event is Captain William Bligh best known? That's 29. For which historical event is Captain William Bligh best known? Tell you what, they've not been. I tell you what, we've sped through, haven't we? Because they're really struggling. 17 and 20. Okay, 17 was a sequence, or the both sequences. We had a Game of Thrones, a Clash of Kings, Storm of Swords, a Feast for Crows, and 20 was 760s, followed by 45, followed by what? Quick shout out to Rachel, to Stephen's partner Rachel's family who are playing just because Stephen told them to. And Rachel's mum is an NHS nurse, so to Rachel's mum, cheers. Hope everything's well at your end. PPE, hope it's been provided. Hope you're well. Yeah, I hope Stephen's looking after you. Wouldn't doubt it. So, okay, I think. Can we, how are we doing on submissions, Beachy? We could do getting through these and getting them rattled. 24 submissions. So we've got about half to go, and then we can quickly run through the answers and bid good night. Just to be clear to the knights, to the WhatsApp group in terms of some of the lads who've tuned in. I will mark yours this evening and make sure you get your results this evening, because I know how precious you are, and you'll definitely want the results this evening. So, is that okay, Beachy? I'll take care of that. I'll let you know the team names. Yeah, the full list, the full comprehensive list will be listed tomorrow. I think fair to say that there are some mean quizzes. So broadly, if you're not getting most of them right, to mid-table placing more than likely. Okay, Beachy, how are we doing? Shall we call it at 9:30? You've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to do it. How many left? 4 left to submit. Rachel's dad is questioning the integrity of the quiz. Rachel's dad, listen, somebody got 50 out of 50 apparently last week. So people might Google. Who knows? Okay, we're going to go. Beachy, is everybody in? 2 more. Half past. If it's after half past, it doesn't count. Come on, come on, come on. I was just reflecting actually before about if anybody wants to buy the Raphael, by the way, it's yours. It's yours for circa £250. That would see me make a net nothing on it. Safe to say that I got very, very drunk in Venice. Very, very drunk in Venice. Okay, half past. That's it. I'm closing it. Let's get it done. Okay. So round 3, get the first round up, please, Stephen. Question from James Dodge. Am I wearing a jock strap? Yes, I'm in full regalia. Okay. That's a lie. Okay, can we have the first round up, please? The Cluedo weapons. So you should have had, obviously, you've got the revolver. I'm hearing, here he is. You've got the revolver. And the other 5 weapons are the lead pipe, the candlestick, the rope, the spanner, and the dagger. Will accept knife. I will accept knife, although it's tenuous at best. Elements of the periodic table with alternate letters missing. Let's bring those up, please, Stephen. 6 is lithium. 7 is beryllium. 8 is titanium. 9 is actinium. And 10 is helium. Full house there would be mightily impressive. Actinium, don't even know what it is. What is it? Who knows? World records in Olympic events, 11. So we had 100 meters, world record currently held, of course, by Usain Bolt is 9.58 seconds. 12, the event where the world record is 98.48 meters is the javelin. I think the hammer's about 85, is about 80 odd, and then the discus in the 70s, I think. The pole vault world record is 6.18 meters, 6.18 meters for pole vault. The 43.03 seconds is held by a South African bloke whose name is it Van Niekerk or something like that. Not Oscar Pistorius, Michael, no. Van Niekerk, and it is in the 400 meters. 400 meters for the 43.03 seconds. And the riders in a cycling team pursuit, you should have had 4 riders in that particular event. There is an event with 3 riders in a pursuit, but the world record for that is by 4 riders. Sequences, 16. You've got the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge, Prince George of Cambridge, Prince Charles of Cambridge, and Prince Louis of Cambridge was the correct answer, obviously, the lineage to the throne. I stopped it there because I didn't want to cause any controversy with Harry. I could have got a bit messy, that. 17, A Game of Thrones, A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast of Crows, and A Dance with Dragons. A Dance with Dragons is what you're looking for there. 18, they're, of course, the Game of Thrones novels. 18, I think my brother will have got this, any music, because my brother is a big fan of musical theatre, apparently. He's a big fan of musical theatre. I was at a dinner once when he said that. So he actually admitted that to somebody. This is Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's red, yellow, green, brown, scarlet, black, ochre, peach, ruby. Ruby is the next colour. So ruby is the next. I won't sing the song. 19 is, these are the states of Australia in alphabetical order. So you want New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria, and Western Australia. More than anybody, you've got Western Australia. And then the final sequence was a perfect leg in darts. And now there are two ways to finish a perfect leg in darts. If you've gone the 60s, most people go treble 19, double 12, but this is treble 15, double 18. So you should have had 36. 36, the correct answer there. Which came first? 21. Is my head going to come into the middle of the screen? Yeah, lovely. Okay, so you should have had, so this is Bohemian Rhapsody or Night Fever. Bohemian Rhapsody, 1975. Night Fever, 1978. The first to win an Oscar between Morgan Freeman and Russell Crowe. You should have had Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's was for Gladiator in around 2000. Morgan Freeman's was a best supporting about 2005, I believe. Great voice nonetheless. Which was launched first, Facebook or Twitter? Facebook, 2004 versus Twitter, 2006. Which started first, the Crimean War or the Boer War? It's the Crimean War by about 50 years. So should be reasonably straightforward. I wouldn't have got it. You're flying directly to Turkey from the UK. Which would you fly over first? Serbia or Bulgaria? You should have had Serbia. And then final round in tonight's quiz, the corrections. Number 26, nearly said one again there. Number 26, Wheezy was a penguin. So Wheezy was, of course, a penguin. Douglas Adams was most famous for The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Excuse me, the Stella. 28, the annual sporting event in 1981 was the London Marathon. And number four, 29. Which historical event is Captain William Bligh best known for? It's the mutiny on the Bounty. Now, I do need the Bounty in there because the connection is chocolate bars. Should have had a penguin, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the London Marathon. I can hear the cries that the London Marathon is now a Snickers. Don't care. And 29 is the mutiny on the Bounty. So that's your quiz for the evening. Clarification from Harry Moore. Northern Territories. Well, it's Northern Territories. You should be in there. It was way before in the question. Absolutely relevant. And actually, I don't think it's an official state. There's a two-state system. There's one with 6 and there's one with 8. That's the one with 6. Sorry, Harry. Tough luck, mate. So that's it. I think that's it for tonight's quiz. We'll follow up with the full list of rankings in terms of markings. So again, thanks everybody for joining in. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, I will just say that online, again, to the extent that you've enjoyed this evening and to the extent that able, obviously the Cricket Club continues to try and raise funds in this time when it has no ability to do so at the club. And any sort of assistance that anybody can give would be greatly appreciated. So the details are again on the website, and we're more than grateful for your continued support. Brief reminder, Michael's shouting down the ear about membership. They've gone out again on the website, details there. But if we can, so thanks to all that have signed up this far. We've got quite a bit of money in last week on membership, but to those who are still yet to do so, please have a look online and take that up. So other than that, I think we're done and dusted. Again, to the lads who have promised some results tonight, I'll get on that right now and publish those. But without further ado, all I'll say is thanks again for joining in. Likely to go ahead again same time next week. Likely that this sort of invisible virus within our midst may well get worse in the week to come. So please, everybody, do stay safe, and all the best to you and your families. Good night, all, and we'll probably see you again next week. Cheers.